Go. Welcome. 1, 2, 3. Oh, why do I not sound the same? Do I sound good? How do I make myself sound better? Sound better there. What is this? Master. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's this one. I hate this one. Okay. Nope. Too hot. Still too hot. Too hot. This is good. This is good, but I can't hear myself. This is good, but I can't hear myself. This is good, but I can't hear myself. Maybe that's better. I don't know. That was way too loud. See, that was way too loud. These things got why is that so hot? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, we'll just have to do this. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, and the levels sound all right. Everything sounds normal. Just let me know, because oh, it's been another one of those days. I can barely. Why am I? Chat room, help me out, Jeff. Can you hear this? I mean, does it sound okay, or do I sound really low? Because for some reason, I don't understand why I'm sounding really hot in my headphones, but then I'm not showing. We can turn our shit down. It's cool. No, that's not what I... Yes, I know you can turn your thing down. I'm talking about, this is being recorded. All right, good. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, boys. Appreciate it. No idea where James Parker is. Welcome into the Pugs and Parker Pillow Talk Show. This comes on every night at 9 o'clock, Monday through Thursday. What we do is a little bit of conversation. Now, this show should not be confused with the afternoon show, which is called High Noon. And that's every day at noon. And what we do there is we talk about specific topics, things that are trending, things that are happening, headlines, all of that kind of stuff. If it's something big that's happening in the world, I'm going to run it down for you on the High Noon Show every day at noon right here on RadioMisfits.com. By the way, I was just at Radio Misfits. I don't even know where the show is on radio. The show is like invisible. You have to click on something that says video. Like you have to know video. I'm just always going to complain about something. Anyway, we're trying to get a bunch of ducks in a row because big things are coming. Big things are happening around here. That's right. Don't forget, we got a big announcement. What? Huh? What? What's that music? What? 2, 3, and... There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring into the fold the other half of the Pugs and Parker Pillow Talk. Spectacular. James Parker.
Welcome.
Hold on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something is definitely wrong.
Something is definitely wrong on my end. Okay. That's better. There you go. You can hear that.
Is that all better?
Yeah, but even you don't sound right. You sound hot to me. You sound like way overmodulated, and so do I, and I don't know why. Been doing this for a year, and now
I know. What about that? Is that better? Hang on.
No, that's not better at all.
What about that? What about that? That?
Give me more.
All
right. I don't know.
Oh, no. I see what it is. Here. It's that one. That's the one. Needs to be like right there.
That's perfect. Now okay. You sound, give me a count to 5. Count to 5 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's what we do around here. That's perfect. All right, James, welcome into the show. How are you? How was your day, Ben? Where's your friend? I thought you had a friend coming.
Did you send her a link?
I didn't send her a link the first time. I never had her email. You just brought her on. I thought that's what you do. Right, don't you remember? You surprised me with her last time. You didn't send me a link.
That's a legitimate point. You're right. Okay. You're right. I did do that to you.
I didn't have because I went to look for email and I went, oh no, that's right. No, he invites her. So somehow that works. Do you want me to send her?
Yeah. What's her damn name? I don't even remember her name. Or I mean her email. Let me see if I can go look at what I sent her last week. Let's see. So if today's 14th. That would have been on the 7th. There it is.
But the same link wouldn't work.
No, but I don't remember her email address.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
It's her name backwards. Why is that funny?
Byron. Byron. It's Byron that's funny. It's the professionalism that I respect. Oh, no, that's way too hot. Well, there is very little professionalism here, at least on the engineering side, especially when Ed's not in town. Ed's back in Chicago, so I can't call him over to fix all of this up for us. This stuff should have all been worked out before. I just thought...
Well, it wasn't the last second, and that's when everything gets done.
Here's something I'm wondering. So we got dinged by YouTube again for our Village People Spectacular last night. YouTube
Is that what it was? I saw the copyright notice, and I was like, what did we do? Oh, yeah, the whole Village People catalog. Right.
Yeah, they want nothing. You know who I don't get any copyright infringements for?
These guys?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen one for these guys.
Are they registered with BMI or ASCAP?
Yeah. I would assume, they're big recording artists. They're on a major, I would assume, right? I mean, they're not, it's not like it's like an independent, this isn't a subway busker. This is it's a song with an album on it, or whatever you want to say.
I'm glad you know the term busker. I've used that so many times and people go, what is that?
Chicago, we got buskers. Chicago, people who stand out in front. Well, New Orleans. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yes, New Orleans is the ground zero for the busker.
It's annoying.
Is it?
Well, there is such thing as too much busking.
Yeah, and they exist. They exist in pretty much big cities, big cities, New York, San Francisco, places like that. Those are the only places.
Well, pedestrian cities. I bet you they don't have a whole lot of busking in like Los Angeles because everyone's taking cars everywhere, right?
I don't know. I bet on the Sunset Strip, there's a whole bunch of buskers out in front of every club. What is a busker? Explain to people what a busker is if they don't know.
Some guy that's just randomly playing music on the sidewalk for tips. So it could be a guitar, it could be a harmonica, it could just be a dude singing, it could be some little kids beating on some buckets like they're drums.
Yeah.
But someone is doing a street performance in public.
That is what I but there's also the other side of the busker, which is the person who stands out in front of the club or the bar, usually with the bouncer, the guy who checks IDs, and that person's job is to, hey, come on in here. We got $2 drinks tonight. Hey, we got, the guy who stands out and tries to get you to come into their bar when you're on a strip of like 10 bars. That's also known as a busker. But yeah.
Oh, that guy's a busker too?
Yeah, that's another use of the word. But yeah, mostly when I think of a busker, I think of a guy playing music.
All right. Well, what's the name of the guy when you're in Vegas that has the cards for some shady looking club and he's always clicking them together? Who's that dude? He's not a busker, is he?
What does he do? I don't think I know.
The guy in Vegas, like when you're on the sidewalk and he rubs the cards together, like clip, 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 clip. You know how there's people just handing you little advertisements to go places? You've never seen the card flickers in Vegas? You've never walked out down the Vegas Strip or Fremont Street or any of that?
Not anything that I've noticed. Not anything that like it would stand out to me.
Wow, the card flickers.
Jeff says we don't have any in bumfuck Iowa, thank God. Dude, you ain't got nothing in bumfuck Iowa. Trust me, I've spent a lot of time in Iowa. There ain't nothing. You got Field of Dreams. That's like your state's #1 tourist attraction. And that's just a baseball field in the middle of a cornfield. All right, your friend's here. You want to introduce your friend? Well, she's my friend now, too. She's all of our friend, but go ahead. Let's bring her in.
It's a great Lisa Marie Lumine.
Well, there she goes. Let's get her over
here.
Oh,
I like that. Great. Hey, what's up?
Lisa Marie.
Hi. That's okay. Just as long as you call me, I'm good, man.
Yeah, no, that's not true, though, because I know that we're new friends, so you're going to let me skate on this. But Lisa Marie, do people call you Lisa and you correct them and you're like, no, it's Lisa Marie?
No, not at all. No. I don't care. I don't. My parents got my name in a weird way, so like I don't even care. Like the way they got my name is so bizarre. They got it from a Ouija board. I wish I was kidding, but like no, like yeah. I saw your face when I said that. They're hippies, man.
That's my
they're hippies.
I assumed they were Elvis fans. I really did. I just assumed.
No, and that's why. Listen, for years I told people that the story is so effing creepy, and like my parents, I had to literally tell my dad, stop telling people this story. It's so effing creepy. Stop. And like now I just own it. Now I'm just like, my parents are crazy hippies. They were probably doing Quaaludes that night. Maybe acid, I don't know. But this is probably what was going on. Yeah, so apparently they're doing the Ouija board. They're in LA. And, at the time my dad's a DJ, my mom's a model. So like they're hippies, pot smoking, good time. And the Ouija board told them they're going to come to know and love Elisa Marie. And then the next day, my mom found out she was pregnant with me. So yeah, go figure. And so that's why I'm named Lisa Marie. Go figure. But yeah, I literally, it's creepy as fuck. What are you talking about? It's so creepy. My parents doing the Ouija board. That's like conjuring shit. Like what the hell?
Come on, man. That sounds like a Hallmark movie to me.
No, and then like a week later, they were talking to trees on Quaaludes. So yeah, my parents got stories, man. They're great. What can I say? It was a different time.
I am entirely in the corner with James here. I think that's a terrific story. I don't think that's creepy at all. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a great story.
It's a great story.
I mean, my story is they just gave me the same name as the previous 3 males born. I'm just named after the guy who had me, and he's named.
So your legacy.
I'm a third, you know. There was no originality in the choosing of my name. Hold on, you guys talk. I gotta let the dog in. She's being a jerk.
How about you, James? How about you? Are you a junior? Are you a junior though?
I am not a junior.
No. Okay, so you're not a legacy then. Okay, gotcha.
So, do you think Pugs might know your dad? Like, if you told him your dad's name, are you?
My dad knows him. My dad knows him.
Really?
I don't know from radio, but he knows him. Yeah, he knows of him. Yeah.
Hey, so Lisa Marie says her dad knows of you.
We were talking to of you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, what you know? I might know of your dad. You don't have to give your dad's name out unless you want to.
No, his name's Willie B. He's working in Yuba, California. Shoot, I can't think of his station. It's what is it? James, you know, is it? Oh, shit, I don't know. I can't think of it right now. And then my sister, she works
radio.
Yeah, and then my sister is in Sacramento, and she's on the radio there. Yeah.
So your whole family, you're just a big.
Yeah, we're a bunch of fucking circus folk, dude. Yeah, gypsies and circus folk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't have. Not in.
And I myself, I do bestiality porn, you know. But yeah. What can I say? We're all like, you know, show people. We're show people, man. James is too.
Yeah.
He's trying to act like he's not. He's just like me. He's show people. You know.
Juggle knives.
My 13-year-old has a bit of show people in him. It comes with being a only child. You know, the center of attention. You got to always have everybody paying attention to you. And but I'm pushing him more. I'm pushing him to be creative, but not radio. Be creative. Get a YouTube.
My dad was that way. My dad was the same way. He was like, "Don't get into radio." Same thing, which is crazy because my sister's doing great in radio apparently. So.
Oh yeah.
Where's she at? Is she in Sacramento? Is that what you said? Sacramento?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like market 31 or something, isn't it?
It's a good market.
Yeah, one of my friends was driving through, and you can actually stream her, and she sounded amazing. I was like, go, girl. You know, yeah. She's doing great.
How old is she?
34. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good age.
She an older or younger sister?
Younger sister. She's gorgeous, too. Gorgeous.
So you're telling me you're over. Yeah. Okay, well, look. You're over 34 years old. I really thought it was like 30. So good on you. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks. Take that. Yeah.
She is, Pugs. Wait. Commenters: Jeff, Al, Byron. Jeff. How old do y'all think she is? Other Jeff. If there's a third Jeff.
I would have guessed. I would have guessed while we're waiting for the delay for them to make their guess. I seriously, sincerely, on the soul of my child, I would have said under 35. I would say between 30 and 35. But again, I'm only seeing you in a box, and I haven't seen you real. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't. But I would say under 35. You look under 35. Jeff Ballard says 36.
Well, now that he knows she's not 34.
Right. Byron says 31. Right. Byron's playing the game. Byron knows that she's older than that, but he's going with how she looks because that's the real question.
Right.
How old does she look? Not how old do you think she is? Nobody else really chiming in. But anyway, good for you. Good for you on the whole. What are you like, 50? What? Now I'm ready to have my mind blown. You don't have to say either because,
She's looking for more guesses?
Did she freeze? Yeah, she froze. I was like, well, okay.
Wow, did you just offend her off of the stream? Or?
I don't think so. I think she just froze up. She looks good though. Al says 35. Al thinks 35. While we're waiting for her to reconnect, you want to jump in, do a little monologue here? Should we do the monologue segment?
That's probably a nice opening for the monologue. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? All right, let's get in here. Let's do a little monologue. But let's hope it works. James, can you hear it?
Yes, I can.
All right, welcome once again to Wednesday night here at the Comfort Nest Comedy Lounge, high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas. I am your master of ceremonies, Pugs Moran, coming to the stage. Put them meat paws together for a guy who's been entertaining the masses for decades upon decades. Your grandparents know him, your parents know him, everybody knows him. He's James Aloysius Parker.
Thank you. Beautiful crowd. Can I have the floor, please?
Oh, can I have the floor, please, he says. Oh, I should have anticipated this level of nonsense. All right, there you go. All right, there's the floor.
Well,
right,
look, if you don't do it right, it just says he Manolo above me, and that's confusing for the crowd. Yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial took a big nosedive, and no one was immune. Even Willie Nelson took a hit. Because it's so sweet. All right, never mind. Yeah, so, hey, Pugs, the economy's so bad.
How bad is it?
I'm having to cut back on jet fuel for my G6.
Oh, man, look at that. You don't get better than that. That's chemistry. He said it's bad. I said, how bad is it? Like we rehearsed that. Go ahead.
Hey, Pugs, the economy's so bad.
How bad is it, James?
Pugs is living in Amel's garage.
Moving on. James?
The economy's so bad. No, we'll
and I'll let you know, I am living in a home above the garage, not in the garage. I will have you know. Go ahead, continue.
And the economy's doing great. According to the UN, 28 million people on planet Earth right now are still working as slaves, or as Nike calls it, full employment. Sweatshop humor. Redeemed myself. The Taliban are making good on their promise to fight climate change. In fact, they just ordered a new fleet of electric car bombs.
They've got a social conscience.
Today is National Sober Day, or as I call it, Wednesday.
Why Wednesday? Is Wednesday the day you teetotal?
No. It was on this day in history, 1970. Stevie Wonder married his first wife. Do you know how they met, though, Pugs? It was on a blind date.
Of course it was. Of course it was. You could have seen that one coming.
And finally, it was on this day in 1814.
Finally, already. I was like, which one?
Well, they're not all home runs. Francis Scott Key, it was on this day in 1814. Francis Scott Key wrote the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner. And most people don't know this, but Key also wrote the lyrics to Baby Shark.
Yeah, he did. He did. That's a fact. Hi-oh! All right. There you go. No, I'm gonna. Where's our girl? Where's she at?
I don't know.
Do we need to?
I was too busy wowing the crowd with the monologue.
No. All right, we'll send her a fresh link. Let's see if we can try this again, or we can just move on.
Link. Come on, come back. Here, I'm just texting her. Come back.
Yeah, because I understand that she's got a subject that she wanted to present to us. I thought that
she does. She has a good story.
Okay, well, I'm always in for a good story. Is it the one you sent me earlier today when you were blowing up my high noon show with your little group chat?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Your wildly disrespectful group chat?
I feel appropriately guilty, if that helps.
There
she is. I heard the bloop.
There we go. All right, let's bring her back. There she is. So
you should put her in the middle. Put her in the middle.
No, you don't. You do not.
There you go.
What are we listening to in the background there?
Oh, 3-year-old. She's a new thing where she says, I see a dead mouse. I don't know that it's so weird. Kids do the weirdest things. I don't know why. She's come up with that and she says it all out of nowhere. We also
why is it coming?
I got a crazy neighbor that legit talks to somebody who's not there every day, same time. Her brother came and told me that she has psychosis. And I thought he was joking. No, like this bitch every day is talking to somebody who's not there.
Byron says there's a bird in her house. It does kind of sound like a bird. It sounds like a parrot. It sounds like a parrot in the background.
Sounds like one of those dinosaurs that spit in Jurassic Park.
Or
They filmed that down here.
Sounds like somebody has hacked our system and is dropping those into our thing. All right, so let's get rolling. What do you got? What do you got, James? Put it up. It's all yours. Your floor.
Well, no, it's Lisa Marie's story, the strippers in the retirement home.
Yeah, what was
It's the greatest story you've ever heard in life.
Well, tell him.
I showed it. I sent him the link. They had strippers in an old folks home. This guy it was on TMZ, and these guys were having their life, and everybody got all butthurt about it. And they were like, "Oh my God, you can't do that! These poor old people." And they're like, "I think you should have a stripper in the old folks home, 100%." I think he totally should.
They have like a.
He paid his dues. Give the man a stripper and a lap dance.
Right. Did they have a bachelor party?
Yeah, and apparently
like a thing like they come on.
It was a bachelor party. Yeah, something like and like they're talking about making it like a thing, and they totally should. They should have the Thunder go. What is it? The Thunder Down should go for the women. You know, the granny should have some strippers too. Like I think, make it a thing. Strippers in old folks' homes. You know.
I don't think grannies want it like that. I don't think grannies. I know that we're all supposed to pretend like the sex drives of men and women are both the same, and that women are just as sexually interested as men. They just keep it hidden. That's bullshit. I don't think my old granny would want a stripper coming into her old folks' home. I think my old grandpa would.
Mine would.
I think my grandpa would have loved it, but I don't think my granny would.
Granny was a pervert. My granny was a pervert up until the end.
Well,
Liked her some young boys. Let me tell you.
Give me one granny.
She used to talk about it. So she had toy bags, man. She had like little young, yeah, 100%.
Your grandma.
My granny was like yes, and she owned it. On my mom's side, she's crazy. Yeah, and she had like young boyfriends. When my grandpa died, she went crazy. She was at the bingo hike, more than one reason. She had little young. One of the guys she dated dropped off her prescription to her. It was the boy who was like. I don't know, he dropped off, that's how she met him. And he was like in his 30s and she was like 70 something.
Well, that sounds nice for your grandma, but it kind of sounds gross too. What is a 30-year-old
like
in an older woman?
I don't know, maybe she was experienced and like, I don't know.
What did she do in life before that was perverted?
What did she do? Well, I know she was, got around. She had a big dance card for her day. That's how she used to put it.
She had a what?
So
card?
yeah, a busy dance card, which means that she had a lot of boyfriends. And back in that day, you married your boyfriends. She was really open. She grew up in Los Angeles. She had tried to be a model and an actress, and it did not work out well. Okay, so I'll just spill the tea with her. So like, apparently, this is the rumor in my family that she did porn. So that my mom has done Hustler magazine, stuff like that. So my mom has done a few things like that. So my grandmother, her mother, before she passed away, I'm not even kidding. So like she was apparently, I don't know what it is. It was like a motorcycle magazine. Titties out. Yeah. It was in the closet growing up. Not even joking. Yeah. I don't know what it was. It was a motorcycle magazine. Yeah. I remember being in the closet and it was forbidden to see it, but I know it was there, She hung out with the bikers. Yeah, LA bikers.
Time out. Okay. So I have a couple follow-ups, as I'm sure James So the rumor is that grandma did porn, which back in her time would have been known as stag films or
right.
So what year are we? We're talking in the 1950s or 60s porn?
60s. So this would have been 60s. Yeah, and the incident specifically I know about, the Biker magazine, the date on it, I believe is 1968. But it was a picture of her seen by a bunch of motorcycle guys, no top, titties out, very hipkin, and if there's worth 1,000 words, when was hidden in the closet for a reason. Also, there was a couple good like portraits that like men had painted of her. So she was a nude model, you know, for artists, I guess, or that's what she told me. Yeah, she had
And this is your
stories. Grandma had stories, man. So I think you're mistaken. Sometimes, you know, I think sometimes old can equal horny, don't you? You know, like, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so yeah, back to the point. I think strippers in a folks' home is a good thing, especially for grandpas.
Okay, that's a great story. James, any more questions about her grandma doing porn? Because I don't care about the TMZ story now. I want to know about her grandma doing porn. And you said your mom did Hustler? You said your mom did. Okay.
My mom did a whole bunch of stuff. She's an LA girl too. Yeah, I've seen her stuff. Yeah, her stuff's actually really a lot of muff, you know, because it was the 70s and whatnot.
I want to see your mom now. What's your mom's name? That's probably a Google. I could she froze.
My mom was.
There she is.
Yeah, now my mom would be pissed. Yeah, my mom would be pissed.
Your mom would be mad. Well, that's okay. I can live with that. Anyway, that's
my mom would get pissed. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I guess she may not be.
That's interesting. Do you have a good relationship with your mom? Do you care if you piss her off?
Yeah, I mean, no, we talk. I mean, you know, like, to be honest, she'd actually be proud of the pictures because, you know, I remember like growing up, she was really body positive, like, you know, real hippie chick, real, you know, own yourself. She was naked a lot. Like, she'd walk around naked as a freaking jaybird. I'd have to tell her, like, put on clothes, you know, just go beaver out to the world, you know, walking around, titties out. And I'd be like, Mom, put clothes on, like, literally. You know, we got in trouble with me so many times.
Beaver?
Yeah, they call it a disco bush. You've never heard that? Wow. A disco beaver is when, you know, like back in the day, you know, they had the big old disco beaver.
Hold on, I have more follow-ups because do you have any? Do you have any brothers?
Yeah, I got one brother. He does comedy. He's a comedian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask is because maybe for a little girl in these stories about the mom, a little bit fun, right? You can have fun with it. I don't know that your brother has as much fun telling these stories about his mom and his grandma.
No, my brother hates it.
Let me finish my thought here. So the reason I bring this up is because we actually have some things in common here. I was also raised by a hippie mom, a very hippie mom from that era.
Cool.
I was raised by a single mom. My father was murdered when I was very young, so she was a widow at 22 years old. And my mom was also very hot, like very good. Like all of my friends all thought my mom was hot. And getting back to your mother and how your mother might feel about those pictures today, I can tell you that my mom, when you go into her house, she has all of these pictures from her life everywhere. And my mother, who is an older woman now, is still very proud of how hot she was in the 70s and 80s because there's bikini pictures. There's like all kinds of pictures. So I think women, as they get older, they kind of get more reserved, or not less reserved about all of that. And they're like, yeah, look at me 40 years ago. Well, that's who I was.
She actually got in trouble. It was funny. So she has a mugshot out there. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it got put on one of these weird mugshot sites of like hot mugshots. So that just should tell you something right there. So she's like, if you go up hot mugshots, my mom's one of them. So, you know, hey, right?
This is an incredible topic for a project that I am working on. And I would like to invite you to come be a part of another thing. I want it. James, you know what I'm talking about? I think this story within the confines project that I'm in the constraints, I should say, of the project, this fits, especially the whole thing about your brother and, you know, being a boy and a girl and what are the differences when you find out that your mom was sexual. That's a very different thing for a girl to hear, I think, about for a boy. James, any thoughts on that? I mean, do you want to hear? Did you want put yourself in her brother's position, James? Give me your thoughts.
Oh, I would still be throwing up. Like, even if I heard it like 3 years ago, I would still just be barfing. Yeah. And look, there is just something that is just
never get over it.
You that makes the idea of your parents doing anything like that the nastiest thing in the world. Just like it is now, I've learned that as a parent, the idea of your kids doing anything like that is equally as repulsive, just viscerally. Like, you can't help it. You gag.
Oh God.
You even associate the two, right? So I don't know. It's kind of interesting how cavalier you speak about it, but it is kind of different if it's a mom and daughter, you know?
I do. I think a woman's view of another woman's sexual empowerment is very different than a man's view of it in general.
Well,
But
no,
when
no,
you get into the children, I think that's where you're real. A boy does not want to even know that his mother ever had sex.
right.
Even though
But
Yeah, I
but
agree with
switch the
that.
seats there. If a boy finds out his dad was a porn star, then I don't want to go out and watch it.
That's
but
awesome.
I am proud of my old man. It's like, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was
I
a
don't think
stallion.
so. I don't think so. I don't
Old
think
man
you'd been
was-
honest
no?
there. Yeah, I don't think you would have been. You'd be
No,
proud
see,
of
I
your
found
dad.
out my dad was a Rolling Stone back in the day. I found out I had a brother I didn't even know about, and like he kind of like later owned it and was like, yeah, it was a total whore in the 70s. It was a different time, and I kind of am proud of him for it. I'm like, hey, he was a child at the time. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily like the stories that I hear all the time because he was a DJ, so a lot of people knew about him, and apparently he wasn't the nicest guy, but to me, it's kind of like, hey, daddy was a Rolling Stone. You know what I mean? Maybe product of his time.
I think that's a terrific way of looking at it. I mean, we are not talking about anything bad here. You're not telling me that your father was involved in the Weather Underground and he blew up a government building. We're talking about sex. We're talking about pleasure. We're talking about something that we all agree is something that we, enjoy as a species. So it's just our moral hangups that really have us be, a little bit embarrassed by it. Except when it comes to the dynamic of the mother and the son. And it's not moral. A whole other thing. The son doesn't want to acknowledge it. But as I guess for the TMZ story, I got no problems with that at all.
What the people that were complaining?
I think it's awesome.
Complaint? What could the complaint possibly be?
The old guy gets sexually aroused, and they feel like it's getting them to straining their hearts. And I'm like, Grandpa needs some excitement. You know what I mean? Like, think about all those years that Grandpa could not have a standing ovation, and all of a sudden he did, and it's like the best day ever. I say, let him have it. Like, right? I don't care if
That's
Grandpa gets a boner.
Want to die. That's how I would prefer to die.
So, right?
So aroused, my heart couldn't take it, and that's how it all ended. Some people crash into the side of some people crash into the side of the mountain. Some people wither away after 2 years of battling cancer. I would like to get so aroused I die.
I think it's a great way to go too.
What? There's something weird happening I've got a delay on my end. Like if you see me doing stuff like moving things, like there's a delay, like from what I'm seeing, like I'm moving. I'm getting irritated. A lot of drag on it. All right. So, where were we? Are we? I got
talking about Grandpa getting a boner.
Yeah, that's the best way. Well, look, there's also you would think there's some natural overlap in these two industries because number one, the people with the highest disposable income, of which adult dancers, that's their target demo. People with high disposable income, that's the older people, right? Also, it's probably a cleaner and safer environment than where they usually ply their craft. It's better than a hustler
definitely
club
safer
on Bourbon Street or Penthouse.
Definitely safer.
Definitely safer. Probably cleaner, right? Probably.
I bet you. Hold on. Wait a second here. You say safer. It probably is cleaner. It probably is safer than doing, a bachelor party at some sleazy motel. However, don't you think that old men try to get away with way more than maybe like old men from different generations? You can't.
But they're less threatening though, because they can
less threatening.
Yeah.
Boobs and they're sticking their hands places and they're squeezing.
Look, that's the risk we all run. If you break the rules, then no more dancing.
The risk you take. Yeah.
All right.
That's right. Hey, old man,
It's a self-regulating mechanism. But then also you would think since they have a different schedule, they usually go to bed earlier, that they could go hit up like in the afternoon, they get back from Luby's at like 4:30 and you could make strippers could make some more money before they actually go to their night job, which probably doesn't get going until like 9 or 10 at night.
This idea that old people go to bed early, that's bullshit, James. Have you ever hung around old people? I know we all think that. Like we think they go early bird, they eat at 4:30. They go to sleep at like 9 o'clock at night, but they wake up at 10:45 and then are up until 4 in the morning. And old people don't sleep well. Old people are always up in the middle of the night doing.
It's different. My dad is nocturnal, so he's awake at night more than he is during the day. And then my wife's 92-year-old grandmother that was staying with us for a few weeks, she would go to bed about the same time as me, midnight or so. Yeah.
Old people sleep like
That's funny.
dogs. The old people sleep
Yeah.
like dogs. If you notice a dog
Yeah.
never gets a really good, solid 8 hours of deep sleep. What a dog gets is about 20 minutes at a time. And he gets those 20 minutes like 60 times a day. That's why, a dog is always laying down. That's because they never get the full 8 hours. A dog, while we're asleep, a dog isn't sound asleep like we are. So that's what an old person is like. An old person's kind of like a dog. The sleep schedule of just, they'll fall asleep in the chair at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but then be awake at 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's how my grandpa was. Ended up accidentally watching Purple Rain together one night because neither of us could sleep, and it was like 3 a.m, and that was the only movie on, and he was so confused. He's like, man or a woman? I'm like, it's Prince. It's Prince, Grandpa. It's Prince. It was a different time,
So is this the grandpa married to the porn star?
No, this is my good grandpa, who was good grandpa. He was
The good one.
yeah, he was from Montgomery, Alabama. So he was very tame and whatnot. A Wilford
Brimley type, if you will, as opposed to
he made breakfast every morning at 6. Yeah.
So I got something I want to show you guys. I want to show this because I got upset by this, and I want to see what you guys think of it. Here, let me pull it up for you. Make sure I can find it here. You watch any of the funeral today? We had a great big funeral.
A little bit.
I mean, I'm not bragging, but I didn't watch 1 second of it.
How could you avoid it? It was on every channel. If you had a TV on, I mean,
a little bit of it.
I didn't have a TV on.
I like the guy who yelled at Andrew the other day. Yeah, Dad's the old man, and they drug him away.
He's like, hey, I'm not old.
Yeah. Right? Don't you see I'm a military regale?
Here, speaking of that, all right. So they drugged the old bird through the streets of London today. She's lying in state. They're going to do a whole big funeral on the 19th, where the world leaders, and the millions of people will descend upon London. It'd be a whole big thing. That's on the 19th. Today was the day that they just kind of marched her through. It would have been cool if they'd have done a whole weekend.
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. You said they're not going to bury her until the 19th?
She lies in state. Yeah. She has to lie in state. It's her royal quota. Yeah. So lie in state for a certain period of time before they lay her down. Yeah. It's gross, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, look, it's not too bad these days, but is this what the rules were like 200, 300 years ago? So the body's just sitting there bloating and stuff?
No, she's I think actually on ice.
She's not bloating. And besides,
no. I'm just saying, if that's what the rules were 300 years ago, they didn't really have formaldehyde and embalming fluid like we have these days. How did this work 200 years ago?
Back in the old days, they just laid there in
Byron. Thank you. Not in state, lion stank.
It's the head comedy writer.
That's a good one
for the show. Here, I want to direct your attention to this picture, okay? Because this picture has become very controversial. I will show you. This is the immediate family. You see them all in their uniforms. Here, I'll put the cursors just so we can identify them. Here's Anne. This is Anne. Look at her in her military uniform. What's that?
Anne.
You don't know who Anne is? She's the daughter.
I don't know. Anne is the daughter of who? Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, yeah.
She's Charles.
Where the hell have you been, James?
I don't know this stuff.
Okay, so this is basically
learning.
Yeah, these are kids and her grandkids here, basically. So, right?
Yeah. So let's go through it. So you got Anne here in her military uniform. Over here, you've got Andrew. This is the very controversial one. He's in his uniform. You got Harry. He's just wearing his medals. You got Charles King wearing his military uniform. I don't know who this is. This is William. Here, this is William. Look at William looking great, the future king himself in his whole uniform. So this is the family, and they're all in their uniforms. And here's the problem with this picture. Harry has relieved himself of his royal duties, right? He's no longer His Royal Highness. He's not a sovereign anymore. And because of that, in giving up all of that stuff, he also had to give up his military service. So that is why he is not wearing a uniform, but he does have all of his medals. See, he's wearing the medals because he earned those, but he is not wearing the uniform. Now, why this picture is so controversial, and good Lord, it should be. People should be really pissed off about this. Harry, with the exception of Andrew over here, who actually flew helicopters during the Falklands, Harry did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Harry actually saw combat. All the rest of these people are cosplaying. They have never done anything. William was in the military, but he was protected as the future king. He never left port. He was like a ship's captain who his boat never went to the water. Or actually, I think he was a helicopter pilot like Andrew. The only guy in this group, Harry, who is not allowed to wear a uniform, is truly the only guy in the royal family who has seen combat. What, James?
Now that is funny. See, I'm not real good at explaining myself on the fact that I know God exists, but I know God exists and he has a sense of humor because he keeps doing stuff like this. And of all I believe in the multiverse, and I'm really happy to be on this timeline that we're in now because it is so messed up, dude. It is like stuff like this keeps happening over and over, and I think it's adorable. That's great. I would have never thought of that.
The royal family in and of itself, and I've made this pretty clear since the Queen's passing, is an absurd concept. It's an absurd concept.
All because of bloodline, right? It's basically because they're all inbred, right? It's because their bloodline can be traced. That's basically all that makes them royal, right? Like, that's it. It's lineage.
Yeah, they didn't earn it. Right.
It's the grossest thing in the world, though. It's so gross. Oh, my God. And you think they'd be over it by now.
It's an absurd concept to believe that of all the people in your country, there is one family who's magic. That's an absolutely, for a rational, modern thinking individual, the very idea that the entire country of England believes that these people are magic, it is a mass delusion on a level that they are. This is this is the definition of a mass delusion.
They call themselves, they say they're God's representation on earth. Like, I looked this up because I was just having trouble trying to understand like how this comes about and how these people are okay like paying taxes for, like for Andrew. So basically she used taxpayers' money to get him out of trouble with the Epstein stuff. And hey, with that, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, and Camilla Parker Bowles, I can't stand her, by the way. Camilla Parker Toilet Bowles, I can't stand her. I can't believe she'll be queen too.
What's your problem with her? I want to hear your convince me because I know jack about these people. So convince me why she sucks.
Lady Di. Oh my God, she was a horrible person. I mean, like, she had the audacity to, okay, so let's say, her and Charles were always in love. He had to marry Diana. She went to the wedding being the other woman. That's messed up. She's a bitch.
Wait, she was in the picture before they got married? Before he married Diana?
Yeah, he was always in love with her. He had to, because that's who they chose, because they're freaking stupid and they cheat and they arrange marriages.
Who is they?
As the only person who has seen every episode of The Crown multiple times, when you two are done,
I love The Crown.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like, yeah.
So you watched The Crown. So you saw The Crown and you came away not loving Camilla? I love Camilla in The Crown. She's awesome.
Look, I can respect her in the way that she survived. And look, it can't be easy loving a guy like Charles and can't choose who you love. But
because she went from side piece to queen. She went from side piece to queen.
Queen consort. It's a little different.
Yeah, queen consort. And she was also, I just think, very disrespectful to Diana. I just don't like her, I don't
know.
I wouldn't tell her that.
Now, James, here's
Charles,
the rundown.
I can't stand.
They met in boarding school. They met when they were both in these elite schools when they were teenagers. They were puppy lovers. They dated each other, and then Charles would not commit to her, and she met another guy, and she got married. And when they were in their 20s, Charles went out and just started dating other people, and Camilla was married. But then Camilla got divorced. And she became available. And that's when Charles started cheating on Diana, getting back with Camilla. Charles went to the Queen and said, I want to divorce Diana, and I want to marry Parker Bowles. And they were like, she's divorced. You can't marry. You're going to be the King of England. You can't marry a divorce. So that was the problem. So he was forced to stay in this relationship with Diana, and then she died. And it was only after she died that they said, well, okay, you're a widower and she can come in. And that's where she is now.
Go for it. Right.
I like her. I do. I like Camilla.
Did you see? How about Charles? What about Charles, though?
Well, wait, hold on, because we both saw The Crown. What I love about Camilla is that when Charles was like, darling, they're going to keep us apart. We can't, we cannot be together. She was like, cool, I'm dating somebody else. And she just like, she wasn't like this brokenhearted, oh, my Prince Charming doesn't want me. Camilla was totally like, hey, that's the kind of pussy you want to be. I'm going to go get me a real man. That was like her
Which
attitude.
is cool because she's saying it to a guy that's going to be the king of England.
Yes, but that was kind of the dynamic they had and why Charles loved her, because she didn't give a shit about all that, because she knew him from the time he was like 12. He was just like the guy pulling her hair in class behind. She didn't give a shit that he was about to be king. And that's kind of one of the things that he loved about her. Whereas oh God, listen to me. I shouldn't know this.
What's
much
the Diana? Because I don't know any of this. If somebody even tried to tell me, my eyes would just glaze over and I'd block it out.
So what's the story with?
So how's he know her? And they
were set up. They were set up. Charles was set up on a date with Diana's older sister. Diana was much younger than Charles. Charles was set up on a date because the Spencers were a family deemed worthy for Charles to date. Like if Charles wanted to marry a Spencer
I
girl,
thought she was all like a commoner, and that was sort of controversial as well.
No, she wasn't of royal line and royal lineage, but they were nobility. They had money. The Spencers had money, and they were in that group, but they weren't in the top group. But ironically, the Parker Bowles were. Camilla Parker Bowles, her family, they're like more connected into the royal line, historically speaking, than Diana's family was. But her family was considered important enough that the family. So Charles goes over to date Diana's sister, older sister. And he's not really into her, but while he's like there riding horses with her, he sees her hot little sister, who at the time was only like 14. So Charles is like,
great.
Hey, who's that? And she's like, oh, that's my little sister, Diana. And then like years later, they're put back together because Charles got to get married because people are starting to talk. And he wouldn't get married. The reason Charles wouldn't get married was because he was in love with Camilla. And he wasn't allowed to marry her. So he was just hanging with her for years. And then they're like, dude, you're like in your 30s. You're going to be the king. You're not even like in a relationship where we can tell people, yeah, he's going to get married soon. You got to marry somebody. So that's when they forced him to marry Diana.
Oh, was this like they thought he was gay?
No, they didn't think he was gay, but he's the king. He needs to have a queen. They need to start producing heirs. He was in his 30s, and that was really old for a future king to have never been in a relationship and, but no, they didn't think he was gay because he dated girls and he was, and everybody knew that he was in love with Camilla, at least, in the family. But the question was, come on, we need an heir. And that's why, he got Diana pregnant right away and they pumped out William. And as soon as she gave him the heir, he was like, all right, I'm done with this relationship. I don't really want to be around you anymore, Diana. Why don't you go do landmines or fashion shows or whatever it is you want to do?
But he did the heir and a spare. He gave him 2, right? Because Harry's...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got more than that. Don't they have... Oh, no. That's it.
It's just the 2. So do you think there's something untoward about Princess Diana's death?
Do I what?
Do you think there's something untoward? There's something
no
foul play with Diana's death?
Of course not. Paparazzi chased her. She was the most famous woman on the planet. Everywhere she went, she was surrounded by paparazzi. I mean, I remember about a year before her death, she came to Chicago for some art thing, some big art institute, event. And the entire city of Chicago shut down for 4 days because Diana was in town. So, she was a very high profile, super popular, in the days before TMZ, the rags wrote, she was on People magazine, she was everywhere all the time. She was the most high profile woman in the world. It was her and Oprah, right? They were like the two.
Why do people care?
Because why? Because Diana was pretty awesome. She really was. She was a pretty awesome chick. She seemed to say all the right things publicly. Maybe not around the family because they hated her guts. But out in public, she seemed like a cool chick. You need to watch The Crown, man. You'll love The Crown.
I saw the first season of The Crown. I really enjoyed John Lithgow as Churchill.
Churchill, yeah.
Yeah. And then I started to watch the second season of The Crown, and I lost interest. I don't have a better explanation than that. I just
get back into it. It's so fascinating, especially the stuff with Gillian Anderson playing Margaret Thatcher. That is such a great season.
How accurate is The Crown?
Well, I mean, historians, this has been a great debate about the show The Crown, because when it first came out, it had a nice pedigree of the people who were behind it were the people who had done all of these royal biographies, and they had all kinds of access and all that sort of thing. Historians, they like to nitpick, so there's been some criticism of it, but for the most part, it is a chronicle of what the Queen saw throughout her reign of like 60 years. All the world events that she was right there for. Wars, summits, meetings with presidents and heads of state, celebrities. And that's what's fun about it. Like, there's a really fun one where the Kennedys came to Buckingham Palace, right? So it was JFK and Jackie Onassis, and they threw a big party. And then, there's a depiction of like what goes on when the press leaves. How the royal family and the Kennedys are all hanging out and they're drinking and they're doing shots. It just looked like fun. It's like, okay, this is an interesting perspective on these people who I find their very existence to be absurd. But this is an interesting sort of view of what goes on, things we never see, because they always seem so stuffy, right, to us. But we see a different side of them in The Crown.
See, that's what I love about so many of these Netflix shows that are kind of like period pieces or historical dramas. Because there was what was the one Marco Polo, where you go see Genghis Khan's like grandson is now the emperor of China / Mongolia, and Marco Polo goes over there just trying to establish relations, and they just take you into a completely different world. And so it's all these exotic places, whether you're going to Versailles or whether you're going to the Roman Empire or whether you're going to Narcos, you're going to 1988 in Medellin, Colombia. But this is sort of the least exotic version of that. You're going to England, like the formal version of us, so it's a period piece that really starts to overlap with contemporary times. And so I start to lose interest as it stops being a period piece and starts being something that's sort of almost like a Dateline coverage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the acting and the writing and the dialogue and the history and all that is very fascinating. I like that. There was one particular episode about an event that occurred in England in the 1960s that I didn't know about. I didn't even know it ever happened. But they depicted an entire episode about how the Queen handled this situation. Did you ever hear about the fog of like 1965 that hit London?
Nope.
There was an entire episode on it. It was like a freak occurrence where this fog, London's very foggy to begin with, but the fog rolls out into it rolls out into the water, and and it clears up and it's a nice day. But for like a week, the fog never lifted and it just hung over. It was like midnight at 10 o'clock in the morning for a week because this thick, dense fog. It was a weird once-in-a-lifetime weather phenomena that stalled this fog over the city. People died. I mean, all kinds of crazy, horrible things happened. And the Queen of England is walking around Buckingham Palace looking outside. And I was fascinated by that storyline. But
that really happened?
Yeah, it really happened.
Right.
And it's about how... And there was another situation where there was a landslide on a mountain in some mining community in England in like 1970. And the landslide took out a school and like 300 kids were killed. Like the Queen went there. I mean, I didn't know any of these things. It's just really interesting. I love it. I love the show.
Right. So to end the show, we're basically storytellers. I'm going to tell you a story of a Wikipedia hole I ended up in.
Oh, I love Wikipedia holes. Sometimes when I'm bored, I will intentionally go to Wikipedia trying to fall into a hole. Please.
Oh, man. So this was at the bottom of the hole. So I jumped to this page, that page. Then I end up on Lionel Royce. Do you know the name Lionel Royce?
I do not.
Yeah, so his name was something that was really kind of Russian Jewish sounding when he was born, because he was born in a city. This is in 1889, I believe, or 1891. It's sometime around there. It was around 1890. And the city now is in Western Ukraine. At the time, it was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, because 1890.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy feels the call of the theater. And so the center of the theater world, believe it or not, was Germany at the time, because he was coming up, around 1910 or so. And so he goes to Germany and he studies under the greats, and he develops his craft like no other at a very young age. He's like the freaking Mozart of acting. So he goes to goes through the highest ranks in Berlin at the theater, gets what's equivalent to a Tony Award now when he's like 22. And so he's like this phenom, he's like the Patrick Mahomes of the theater.
Okay.
Right. And so here's the problem though. He's Jewish, and this is now getting into the late 20s, early 30s of Germany. And that, believe it or not, that was a roadblock to future employment opportunities, Bugs.
Not a good time, not a good decade for Jews.
Of course, the best one, not the
best. It'd be hard for us to point out a decade that it was good for Jews, but that was
probably not even in the top 10. Yeah.
No. Eastern Europe, that time, no, not good.
And so, look, this almost sounds like the plot to Team America. But so this guy who's the best actor in the world, in order to get back at the Nazis, he comes up with an idea, Pugs. Okay. He moves to Austria, and in one of the far western provinces of Austria, up in the Alps, where they have Ricola and those big horns and whatever.
Sure.
But later,
where Hitler's eagle's nest is. Sure.
Yeah. So this guy who was born in what's now Ukraine as a Russian Jew, but was really come of age in Germany, he specifically goes to this province because it's sort of like the Alabama of the German world. It's in Austria and it's far west, and hell, it's
kind of hiding, and nobody's gonna look for him there, right?
Okay. And so they have a funky, like, rural accent and mannerisms, and they talk different with a different cadence. And you know how sometimes you sound like Larry the Cable Guy, and then sometimes you sound like Foghorn Leghorn. I said, "Oh, listen here, son." So he got an accent which in the German world is sort of akin to Foghorn Leghorn. But also the problem is, as a Russian Jew, he has dark features. He has very dark hair. He has, dark eyebrows. He has dark arm hair, everything. Mm-hmm. So he lives among the people of Tyrol, Tyrol, Tyrol. That's the name of this province. It's the Alabama or whatever of Austria. He lives with them for 2 years as a local. Every 2 weeks, he takes a bath head to toe in diluted hydrogen peroxide. So not only is he now no longer dark hair. Yeah. Yes, he bleaches himself. So his arm hair, his leg hair, it is the blondest of blonde. And that was looked highly upon in 1930s, Austria.
Some thought it was the superior race.
I heard that.
I've heard that.
People are so weird. People are so weird. So after 2 years of mastering the accent, mastering the mannerisms, mastering the clothing, the culture, all the ticks and tells, he strolls over to Vienna. Okay. And he just jumps into the theater, and they're like, well, tell me your theater background. He's like, well, I don't really have a theater background. I'm just some poor old hick from the hill country in Tyrol. And, I'm just trying to I'm just a big fan of the theater. And they're like, well, let's see you act. And so they go and they put him on stage, and he just kills. Yeah. And so the director immediately notices that this dude's amazing. So he's like, look, there's a spot for you. We're going to be doing the biggest play in the country in about 6 months in Vienna. Like, Hitler and everyone's coming. It's going to be great.
All the cool kids.
yeah, all the cool kids are going to be there. And there's this one part that we haven't cast, and it's perfect for you. Right. And oh, that's great. So he finds out that when he's on this play, there's like 6 people that are either in the cast or in the crew that were on the same play he was in Berlin that shot him to the top of the world, right? So not only did he have to worry about them recognizing him, like, this dude has to stay in this character of the hick that he's developed. The Larry the Cable Guy is who he is when he's not acting. And then when he's acting, he's whatever the character is. And it's just an amazing transformation. But he can never, ever be himself. He has to stay in this Larry the Cable Guy hick persona for like 8 months while they go through all rehearsals. And then they finally do the play, and like Hitler and everyone and all the magazines and Variety and Vanity Fair of the Austrian world or whatever, they're all like, this is the new greatest actor ever. This is the new Daniel Day-Lewis plus Tom Cruise plus Brad Pitt rolled into one. And this is the guy that just shot to the top of the theater world in Germany, and he's such a good Aryan. I mean, look at how blonde this dude is. I mean, we told you didn't need all them stupid Jewish people in showbiz or these Italians with their Renaissance crap or whatever. The Aryans are really the true master race. And I mean, look at this guy. I mean, do you need any more proof? And so he
Hold
let
on, time out. Everybody, what James just said, the last like 3 or 4 sentences, feel free to download this and isolate that and use that in case he ever tries to get future employment.
Yeah, I'm never running for office now.
No context. Just
No,
have
no.
him saying, Jews in Hollywood. And just have him have that. So, Jeff, Byron, that's on you. Go ahead. James, continue.
Okay. And so then there's the little Oscar awards or whatever, and he wins. And then a week later, he comes out in the media and says, "Gotcha, bitches, I'm a Jew."
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, is that it? Or are you going to tell me, and that man's name? John Wayne. I mean, like, I thought maybe you were going to give me
listen,
there's no payoff like that?
His name's Lionel Royce, and it's actually, while it's funny as hell to us, it was an incredibly courageous and noble thing he did, because it almost got him killed. He had to flee. He never saw his family again. He came to America.
How is this not a movie? How is this the story you just told me? That's one of the great things that I like about Wikipedia holes. I fall in Wikipedia holes all the time, and I go, why isn't this a movie?
This will be a movie.
Somebody developing this story as a movie.
Maybe we should, because this is an amazing story. So then he comes to America, and he's in like 40 different movies, and it started in the silent era, and then in the talkies with people you've heard of. We just went over some of those 30s and 40 stars, and then he died in like 1946, like he saw the Nazis finally defeated, and then he went off and retired and slowly died in some beautifully lush villa. Yeah.
Look at him. Hey, all right, we got to wrap up here. I love the Wikipedia hole, though.
Lionel Royce. That we should work on that script or whatever.
Well, yes, that, or there's, dude, there are so many amazing stories. I have a file somewhere in my drive with Wikipedia links where every time I found a page that I thought could be developed into something, I put it aside. But this is like 6 years ago, and it's probably like one of 1,000 files now that somewhere in my drive. But yeah, that happens all the time, James. I fall in a Wikipedia hole and I go, this story has never been told. Why has this story never been told? To that end, fell in a bit of a Wikipedia hole today, and I wanted to do this segment on today's show, but we'll hold it off for tomorrow. So I'm going to give you a little tease on this.
Wait, did I mispronounce Mozart?
Well, Mozart is kind of a weird way to pronounce it. Mozart.
Well, how do you pronounce it?
Mozart.
Mozart?
Yeah, Mozart.
Like pizza?
I pronounced the T. You just kind of went with Mozart. You just kind of eliminated the
just
T.
Mozart. Mozart. Hey, if we're in Austria, it could be Mozart, but we're in Texas. It's Mozart.
So here, let me tease you this for tomorrow. So, you're rewatching The Sopranos. How's that going? Is that going good? Have you made any progress?
I just watched another episode today. It's getting really weird because I don't know, man. Like, what's with Janice? Janice and Ralphie just broke up.
The gun to the head stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't Ralphie great though? Didn't I tell you how great Ralphie was?
He's a great character, but that's just a great actor. You need a dirtbag weasel in your movie. Get that guy. What's his Joey Pantaleone? Is that his name? Joey
Pantaleone. More than like James, look at me. I'm telling you this in all seriousness. Probably the only actor in Hollywood today. This used to be a very regular thing, but probably the only actor in Hollywood today who, when he plays those roles as made guys, isn't really acting. Is Joey Pants, as he is known.
Is he made? You're saying he's made?
I'm saying that's what everybody says. I'm saying that he for a very well. First of all, anytime
he was in the Matrix, he's not playing a made guy in the Matrix.
No. But in real life, if you were to run into he goes by Joey Pants. That's what everybody called Joey Pants. He was a regular on the Kevin Matthews show in Chicago so he used to come up all the time. All the time.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay.
And every time that Joey Pants would come on, he would be surrounded with a bunch of his buddies, and they were all Goombas. It was like his buddies were all big pussy clones. So it was like, and then our general manager, whose family famously has some ties to some things. He told us all once. He said, Joey's a made guy. Like, no, really?
Made guy. That's so cool.
All right. So anyway, you're rewatching The Sopranos. I'm rewatching The Wire. or not The Wire, The Shield. I always get those confused. Have you ever seen The Shield?
No.
Okay. Well, you should. Oh my God, you've got Hulu, right?
Yes.
That's got to be your next binge. That's like that. You want to go from The Sopranos and you want something The Shield, man. Fuck, dude. The Shield. It's a true story too. Well, it's based on a true story. Anyway. So there's a character in The Shield. One of the main characters is in every, he's a main cast member, but he's not the star. His name is Michael Jace. He's a black actor, big.
A black dude.
If you know who Michael Jace is, he played Michael Jordan. There was a 1999 movie about Michael Jordan's life that I saw. I don't know, it was like a Lifetime movie or something, but he played Michael Jordan and he didn't really do much. But I remember seeing him in that movie as Michael Jordan and it resonating with me that, okay, this guy's not a terrible actor. This guy's actually not bad. So then he goes on and he does The Shield and he plays Julian on The Shield. I'm watching The Shield today and I'm going, why is it that nobody from this show is so exceptional? Why is it that nobody has really gone on to do anything other than Walton Goggins? Walton Goggins went on to be, one of the most bookable character actors in Hollywood now, but really nobody else. I mean, Michael Chiklis was a star and he already had things, but nobody else went on and they were all so good in those roles. So I'm watching Michael Jace today and I go, why didn't he do anything else? Why isn't he Denzel Washington? I mean, he's just that good. Like he's a good actor. So I looked it up and I went, well, what is Michael? Did he retire? And the first thing on his Wikipedia page is Michael Jace is a former actor. And I'm like, former actor, having been convicted of murdering his wife. I'm like, wow, okay, so that explains why I haven't seen him in anything. That explains why his career hasn't. So that led me down a Wikipedia hole of celebrities who have murdered their wives. I've got a list. People, yeah. You think it's just Robert Blake? You think it's just Robert Blake? No, man. And then that led me into a Wikipedia hole of celebrities that have murdered. And then there's a whole other category of just celebrities who have murdered people drunk driving. And none of them, especially the ones from like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, none of them paid any price for it. They were all just like, yeah, I murdered somebody, got drunk, but it's Cary Grant. It's like, it was like that. We can't put Cary Grant in jail. Oh, so I wanted to do that. I have this list, so we'll do that tomorrow. We'll go through this collection of celebrity murderers.
All right. I love that. Celebrities who have killed their wives or celebrities who killed drunk driving. That'd be a good podcast. A podcast about all the people who've committed heinous crimes from my high school would be good. And then there's also this. My wife found this in one of my old boxes in storage.
Oh, those are the playing cards, right? The target cards.
Yeah. These are the playing cards of the top 52 terrorists in the war on terror from 2002 or whatever.
I had a deck of those. The government, the military sent us those.
Yes, I think I got this from your office.
Maybe.
Saddam Hussein is the ace of spades. I would like to do a 52 episode podcast going through the biography of each one of those dudes. Yeah, he's just a humble little goat herder born in the Pashtun plains of Kandahar or whatever. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be. All right, and also we'll get out of here. But big news.
Oh, big news! I was going to say check out Podcast of Florida Stories, but big news sounds better.
Well, yeah, you can do that. A lot of people have been wondering about what's happening here in town. Did you see the big changes at the Eagle today here in town?
I did not. Please tell me.
The trades are all on fire. First of all, it has been. People are wondering about the afternoon show, Dan and Elfie. I call it the remnants of the Russ Martin show, Dan and Elfie. They haven't been on all the week. I've seen nothing. I don't know anything, but it looks like they're gone. I mean, James, they're off the website. What do you think that means for the show?
They're gone and they're not coming back.
Yes, they're off the website. That's if you're a radio professional and your favorite, or if you're a fan of a show and they're not on, and you're wondering, are they on vacation or are they gone for good? Check the website immediately, the station website. If the show is off the website, they are gone. So, but there is no official word on them, and yeah, God love them. They're talented people. I'm sure they'll be fine. They're both good dudes. I mean, we've been there, right? I mean, I'm trying to be empathetic because But honestly, I've been shit on by this industry so much. It's hard for me to have empathy. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, well, it comes for all of us, my guy. I don't know what to tell you other than it's not because you suck. It's because this business sucks. That's what it's about. So they blew out their program director today. Don Davis was this guy's name. They blew him out. He was the program director, I want to say KZPS and the Eagle. And here's the craziest thing. They blew out the market manager. They apparently exited the market manager for iHeart here. So I don't know what's going on, but that's the news. People have been asking me about the other two, Dan and Alfie. And I don't know, man. When if they would have a statement to make, I'd follow them on Facebook or something like that. They might help you out. But the big public news is that it was all over the radio trades today. That there are huge changes. So maybe there's more big changes.
I was looking for that in the radio trades earlier today, and I didn't see it, or this morning, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was about a All Access. I think I got the alert from All Access at about 2:30 this afternoon. So it was like an afternoon update. So if you go there now, you'll see a story on the program director. And
wow,
yeah, man, that's great. Those are the bot.
That might be a legal thing, because if they're only having problems at the Eagle, they're not going to blow out the market manager unless.
Well, I don't think they're having problems. I mean, I think they're having problems on the scale that every other radio station in America is having problems, But I think I don't know. I think it's just executives. They make a lot of money, and she'd been with the company for a long time, right? So maybe it was just cost cutting. You got to cost. I mean, look. Let's say, and I don't know this woman, but she's been here in the big seat for a long time, so she's obviously competent to some degree. But I believe she's a little bit older. And by that, I say she's probably my age, maybe a little bit older. And let's say that she's been doing this for 20 years. So with her incremental raises and bonuses, she's probably making huge money. They could just get rid of that salary and get somebody 35 and say, how would you like to be the market president for half of what they're, you know what I mean? For half of what they're paying. So it's just all cost cutting. I don't think it has anything to do with, people's abilities or anything. I just think they're cutting costs everywhere. So that was the big news. I don't know anything about Dan and Alfie, but if you guys reach out to them, give them my best. I've been there. We've both been there, right, James?
Like 12 times I've been there. You know how many times I've been canceled? Every time. Every single. I'm
living above a garage doing a stream to like 12 people. I've been there. I know of what I speak.
We are there. We're there right now.
That's right. All right. Bye, James. I saw him. I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I saw him jump off. No, I didn't put this. She took this off. There we go. All right, you want to tip the show? Tip the show. We need your tips. That's all I'm going to say. We need your tips. We need your tips. Big announcement Friday. Although, Friday at noon. Friday, I'll do that during the noon show. Although, quite frankly, if you tune into this show, I might announce it Thursday night, just for you people. Having a little difficulty. I gotta fix my microphone. Okay. What else? What else we got? Am I crazy, or does Lisa Marie seem like a lot of fun? That girl seems. I mean, the audio. I'm with you. The audio is really difficult. We'll get that figured out. We'll send James over to fix it somehow. But I like her style. I like that. I like the story she brings. That's not bad. The best is yet to come. Oh, my voice is gone. Like you ever had a voice. Now, John, I love you, John. You know that. We go back 20-some years. I didn't say Thursday. I said maybe. I said maybe Thursday. Definitely I'll have an announcement for you on Friday. maybe Thursday. Maybe I'll share a little something with you guys. Although, John, let's be honest, I'd probably tell you. If you were to reach out to me, I might tell you. And April, I owe April. I need to tell April too. I need to tell April. April tips the show and takes care of the show. And I just saw that she had she sent me a DM. She's like, tell me, and I'll tip you. Well, we could do that. The best is yet. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying tip the show and I'll tell you what the secret. Let's not go down that road. That is not what's happening. But in her tip message, April said, DM me what the breaking news is. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do it. But I will. I'll do it for her. We'll get on it. What show, Byron? Byron works all the concerts and all that stuff. What show you working tomorrow? Who's in town? Who's playing? So tip for just the tip, Jeff? No, probably not. Ben Platt. Byron Granger is working a Ben Platt show. Gotta be honest with you, I don't know who Ben Platt is. Never heard of him. All right, we're out of here. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, and then also a pillow talk. All right, bye everybody.